Hello all and welcome back. I've just had to start this podcast for the second time because the camera fell off the stand. So hopefully this time I'll be more lucky. Welcome back to a sweltering day here in Ipswich. It's going to be 33 degrees later, so I've got a fan there, full pelt at me. Apologies if I start looking more disheveled throughout the episode because I'm overheating. Hopefully that will sort me out. Thank you so much everyone for getting in touch, sharing your thoughts and opinions. It's hugely appreciated. Best place to do so, comment section below, and if you have a longer story, maybe with some pictures, you can email hi@tuesdayatdobbs.com. Let's start off with a small piece of plastic. This. We often have the chat on the podcast, Chinese-made equipment. The truth is the Chinese make some of the best products in the world, full stop. And some of the biggest brands, such as Apple, trust the Chinese to make their products. They are world leaders in making quality stuff. But also in China, they will make anything any company asks for. So, for example, if there's a company that is happy to make products that clearly aren't right, look, they will still make them in China as long as they make them to what the company's asking them for. This is the perfect example of that. This is a seat pulley for a Suzuki Jimny. I checked online, I could buy a legit Suzuki product for £12.50. But I thought, why not get a pack of 2 made in China off an eBay seller direct from China? So I bought this, it arrived 2 days ago. I put it into the top of the seat, started screwing it down and wondered, why isn't that screwing in to the screw thread in the back of the seat? I then looked inside this and I could see there isn't even a thread to screw it into. It's just completely smooth inside. Totally pointless product that hasn't been checked at all. That's not the Chinese factory's fault specifically. It's just a fact that the seller isn't even bothered to check that this product has been made to the specifications for the Jimny. So now this is going to have to go in the bin, or I try and get a refund. And the point is I'm now going to have to just go straight to Suzuki anyway and spend £12.50 on the thing. It's that classic situation where you try and save money and you end up spending more. So frustrating. Let's get to now something that I really like the look of. Bell have recently updated their famous Bullitt line of helmets. This is called the Bullitt GT lane. 4 different colors. These are always ridiculously quick sellers. So if you want one of these, grab it, because even in a few sizes now, they're sold out. They look so good. £425. The lining is just as good looking as the exterior of the helmet. No stone has been left unturned in the design of this helmet. And I have no doubt, although I've never owned a Bell helmet, the quality will be top notch. So if you're in the market for a helmet, God, I could be tempted by one of these. Definitely go and check out the Bell Bullitt GT lane. One other bit of consumer advice, if I can call it that. You remember about a year ago, I went to the launch of the Bsa Bantam, the famous name, the Bantam, and the Bsa Scrambler. I kind of feel that things have just quietened down a bit. You had the big launch and everything like that. And things I think have gone a little bit quiet, where I hoped things would carry on going up and up and up like that, more and more buzz around the name Bsa, but I just feel it's gone a little bit quiet and I'm not sure why that is. So I've checked on Bsa's website. The introductory offer for the Bsa Bantam of £3,500 is still on, basically meaning that first batch of bikes will still be available. They haven't sold them out. That's already an incredible deal, £3,500 for one of these Bantams. It's a really, really good bike, this. But if you're willing to go for a second-hand one, you can now get a 2026 Bsa Bantam, brand new, from a dealership for under £3,000. £2,999. That is an incredible bike for under £3,000. You've still got pretty much all of the Bsa warranty. It's fun, it's well built, it looks incredible. Get into biking, want something lighter, more chilled out. Crazily good deal for such a bike. Really crazily good deal. Now on to the Yamaha WR125R. This was the bike. I think we'll call it a dual sport motorbike, 125cc, so CBT friendly. Looks incredible. The launch was a few weeks ago. They invited a whole load of people, from journalists to YouTubers, Instagrammers, stuff like that. I was very jealous I didn't go on it, but loads of people went on it and it looks brilliant. Dream on Two Wheels, YouTube channel dream_O2W, was actually there documenting the launch of it. Take a listen to this for a really useful insight into this bike. Freddie, I was there on the launch of the Yamaha WR125R, and I can confirm that this bike is amazing, especially for less experienced riders off-road. Incredibly light and forgiving on the trails. Even on tarmac, going through twisties, it was a bunch of fun to ride, despite being only 125cc. However, I do think for more challenging off-road sections and hill climbs is where the lack of power became more noticeable, meaning that you really have to rev it high up in the rev range to make sure you're in the right gear. And if you weren't going fast enough, you almost found yourself stuck in between gears, where in second you'd be redlining it, but in third you didn't have enough torque low down. But having said all of that, this lack of power also meant that if you do make a mistake, you're unlikely to get yourself into too much trouble, and can imagine that it would be absolutely perfect for taking it around most of the green lanes, the off-road tracks that we have in the UK. Finally, completely agree from a looks perspective, it looks phenomenal. Now, if Yamaha made a 250 or 300cc version of this bike, I think that would be really hard to beat. Great insight there, and I agree, I would love to see Yamaha coming out with, probably in reality, something like a version of this. I'd love to see them make a nod to the XT350 with those old 1990s looks. I think that would be incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really interesting insight. I need to try one of those. They look great. Next. Oh, okay. I love this. Last week, I had so much fun doing this. 5 dream level motorbikes for £15,000. I listed mine. It was £15,000 to spread between one sports bike, one dual sport, one adventure, one naked, one cruiser. 5 different genres of motorbike. I've gone back to have a look at those exact 5 bikes that I mentioned last week that would be my dream bikes in every genre. 3 of these bikes, this is incredible actually, because this never happens. People lapped up these bikes. I have no idea if it was because of the episode last week or just they're really popular bikes and people snapped them up anyway. 3 of the 5 of these bikes are gone. They've been sold. Can you guess the 2 genres of these bikes out of sports bike, dual sport adventure, naked cruiser? Can you guess the 2 genres that haven't sold? I found this really interesting. First up, BMW R1150 sold, £2,100 it was up for. Next, Triumph Thunderbird 900, £2,995 up for, sold. Next up, Honda Fireblade sports bike. Still don't know if they're back in fashion yet. Listed 4 months ago, unsold. Next up, Harley Davidson Wide Glide, $4,950, unsold. And finally, Suzuki DR350, £2,000, listed 2 months ago, sold. So it's the cruiser and the sports bike that are the only 2 genres that haven't sold. And I know this isn't scientific, but it is kind of indicative that sports bikes and cruisers, they're still not quite in the style or in the forefront of people's minds at the moment. I found that really interesting. Ooh, carrying on from that, you gave me so many good bits of inspiration. Your ideas for what bikes should be in this 5 dream bikes, one of each genre, for £15,000. So many good ones I could have gone for, but there's one specific one I wanted to share here. This is from Reldwob22. Your comments about late 1990s bikes are spot on in my opinion. I've recently got myself a mint, here we go, Honda VTR 1000F Firestorm. Kind of a model I know-ish about, but not enough to say anything about it. I had to do proper Googling on this, and I got it for £2,500. It's a ridiculously good bike for not much money, and I can see it being worth quite a bit more in 10 years' time. Let's take a look at this. What's this all about then? Honda Firestorm. First off, I love the name, I'm sold. Started in 1997 and production carried on all the way to 2005. So a good chunky production run of 8 years there. 1000cc. But not just any 1000cc. This is a product of the 1990s where people were freaking out about V-twin sports bikes. So this is a 1000cc V-twin from Honda. That already sounds very, very of its time. It sounds characterful. It sounds like a brute. This sounds special already. 97 horsepower. So a good chunk of horsepower. I'd say actually probably perfect for the real road. And a wet weight with fuel of 214 kilos, which is pretty good actually. That's not bad at all. Take a listen to this if I haven't sold it to you yet enough. MCN. I mean, really take a listen to this. This is high praise. Spectacular V-twin engine. Spectacular. Side-mounted radiator for short wheelbase. That's the kind of design and technology from the B motor KB2 that I was riding, where they put the radiator underneath the rear seat to shorten the wheelbase as much as possible and make the handling as chuckable and dynamic as it could possibly be. This is cool design stuff here. It's thirsty and has a small fuel tank, so there are the negatives. This is still MCN saying a superb used by, and again, very popular with owners rating them 4.4 out of 5. But, having said all of that, it's still a sports bike, and these are not a popular genre of bike yet. Prices are rock bottom for these. Really, really rock bottom, where you almost can't believe the kind of bike that you're getting. If I go into Facebook Marketplace, so prices for these, if you want to take a little bit of a risk, you can get one for about £1,000, something like that. And if you want a complete mint one like this, £2,995, listed 16 weeks ago, 13,000 miles on the clock, unmolested, pretty much standard, never been dropped, cosseted its entire life, only been wet for 6 weeks of its entire life. Guess what? During an Irish and European road trip. Otherwise, never taken out in the rain. Sounds a bit like a one-owner bike, this, from 1997. Beautiful one. Or, this one I also like. Funnily enough, this is in Ipswich. If you want to take potentially a risk, I would be quite tempted to go with this one. I love the colour combo of red and silver. Listed a week ago. £1,200. 2 owners from new, but it gets even better than this. This bike needs some recommissioning. It's been sat in my garage for 12 years. At the end of that summer, it had new tyres, clutch, chain, sprockets. Last summer, I got it out, got it MOT'd, went back in the garage, and that was that. Now it doesn't start. The bike was purchased new by my brother from Bowers of Bury St Edmunds in 1998. And I then purchased it from my brother in 2002. Dry stored its entire life, 27,000 miles on the clock. That is a bargain price at £1,200 with 2 owners, all the documented history from when it was brand new, being bought from Bury St Edmunds. You're going to take a little risk because it won't start, but having low mileage like that, only 2 owners, all documented, that's got to be worth a risk. Of course, I have no idea, but I'm going to stick my neck out here and say there cannot be anything remotely serious with that bike at all. That's tantalizing. I think you'll agree. If I were in the market for one of these VTR 1000 Firestorms, I would be checking out carVertical. carVertical is a vehicle history checker that will do a comprehensive history check on the vehicle. Take a look at this. This is a Honda Firestorm from a garage in the UK, currently up for sale. This is really useful because you can get a complete picture of that bike's history to give you the most informed decision possible. Mileage, potential issue, damage issue, no finance outstanding. Okay, so there's definitely stuff here I need to check. It's never been stolen, which is great. The mileage, it's basically not been used in 5 years. Not a red flag, but should I be looking into that in more detail? Okay, right. And the dealership, full disclosure, they mentioned this. They're not hiding anything at all, but this is really good that I can try and understand as best as possible. In March 2009, this was a Category C. Now, this isn't just cosmetic. Something structural has been damaged on the bike, so it's recorded as a write-off. I then need to decide, is it worth me taking a risk on this bike. Damage detected, and then the ownership changed. And then it failed a technical inspection a year later. This did not have a good time between 2009 and 2010, but that was a long time ago. Looking at that, I think this would put my mind at ease that, look, it's had a fairly decent biff at some point, but it looks like it's all been sorted out now. And I think if the price is right, I would take a risk on this bike. I just have to accept, look, it's going to be hard to sell it because it's been written off. It's always far harder selling a write-off bike in the future. But if the price is right, I'd take a punt. So if you're on the market for a car, a motorbike, go and check out carVertical. You can download the app. You can go to carvertical.com, use code DOBS. Code DOBS and you will get 20% off one report. Or what I do, you can get 50% off a bundle of carVertical reports. So for example, when I was looking for the Suzuki Jimny, I searched for 3 different Jimnys, did 3 different reports before I found a Jimny that I was happy with. So those bundles are very useful. So thanks so much, carVertical, for sponsoring the video. Go and check them out. Right, I carry on now with searching for soul. Oh, this is a good one. Your opinion has been requested here. Take a listen, see what you think. Your opinion will be valued here. Comments will be read by the gentleman in question, Gary. Searching for soul. Freddie, I have a question for you and your viewers. I currently have a Triumph Tiger, but I'm finding it heavy to move around, and it doesn't really stir my soul. I really don't have the time in my life nowadays for big tours or multi-day rides, and my riding is mainly day jaunts out and the occasional longer ride. I've been inspired by the classic bike scene and also custom bikes. I want to know, what are yours and your viewers' opinions of the following choices to replace my Triumph Tiger Explorer with? Ready? Triumph Speed Twin, Triumph Scrambler, Kawasaki Z900 RS, BMW R9T. Brackets, I'm a huge BMW Boxer fan. Or, having said all of that, should I go full classic and go for a BMW R100? I've seen some amazing R100s for sale, both standard and customized. But are they as reliable as people say? Should I go old or new classic? Gary. Gary, that is such a good shortlist you've picked here. I'm going to start off here with my thoughts, and please everyone chime in here. What should Gary do? What are your experiences with the likes of the BMW R100? Is it as reliable as people say? First up, I'm going to get rid of the Triumph Speed Twin, get rid of the Triumph Scrambler, get rid of the Kawasaki Z900 RS. You've said here you're a huge BMW Boxer fan. Let's focus on what you're a huge fan on. Go with what you want, because you're getting rid of the Triumph Explorer because it's a bit too sensible, a bit too heavy, not quite enough soul and character. Well, let's get you the soul and character that speaks to your heart here. The only thing we're considering, Boxer BMWs. So it comes down to the BMW RnineT and also the BMW R100. Let's have a look. I found you a really, really good one here, Gary. I don't think you're going to believe the price here. This is so much cheaper than all of the others. I could not believe that you can get these for this price. BMW RnineT 2016 model for £4,199. And the reason it's that price is because the mileage, if I remember correctly, is about 35,000 miles. Sorry, it's not saved here on my screenshot. I think that's about 35,000 miles. Private seller, well looked after bike. And just look at it. It's a thing of beauty. I'm a huge fan of those. Okay, remember that bike. Next, we've got the BMW R100. This is Facebook Marketplace. Be still. My beating heart. I don't know why these speak to me, these bikes. These are so nice. Oh, I need to actually speak about it, not just gawp at it. 1983 BMW R100, listed 9 days ago, all the way up in Scotland, Angus. £3,000 originally, reduced to 2,750. Here we have my very original BMW R100. Starts runs and looks well for its age, great patina, never been painted, classed as a historic vehicle, no tax, no MOT, comes with the original bikini fairing. I love this, this is so very Scottish. No stupid offers please, no WhatsApp messages, bike located in northeast Scotland, will not ship. There's no messing about the Scots, straight to the point. Do not be stupid if you go and view this bike. Not that I would ever suggest that at all, but this is a gentleman that does not like messing about. Are you serious about buying it or not? I think this is so special, so special. So long as you're someone who will not mess this owner about, you're going to be in good hands. That's a stunning bike. Okay, right. So let's compare these then. What do we go for Gary? The BMW RnineT was launched, can you believe it, 2014, 12 years ago. It's an 1170cc with 110 horsepower, 222 kilos. I know that you want something lighter, Gary, and of course this is not a light bike. Then we move on to the R100, launched in 1976, 980cc, 60 to 70 horsepower, something around there, and a bit heavier, 225 kilos. Again, neither of these are heavy bikes, but they are so much physically smaller than the massive Triumph Explorer. With regards to the reliability of the R100, I am sure a lot of owners will back me up. I've been looking online. The standard quotes for the R100 seem to be around the world reliability, routinely exceeding 200,000 miles. I think if we're looking at reliability, very possibly there is nothing more reliable than this, and I'd be fascinated to hear if anyone has anything else to say that to counter my belief on this. Gary, I'm going to take this all into account now to make a decision for you, if I may. You've said you don't have the time for big tours or multi-day rides. What that says to me, you're only going to do short rides, and if you're only going to do short rides, you want every single mile of that ride to be magical. You don't want to have to find big, winding, open roads to be able to stretch the bike to the limit, to be able to find that level of fun. You want to have fun and find fun in the precious moments that you have, just going to the shops, just going 20 minutes down the road. Initially, that's going to lead me down to the BMW R100 because it's going to be a more fun bike at all speeds because it's just a little bit rawer, a little bit more visceral, less horsepower as well, meaning you can use more of the power range of the bike. Yes, you said you're a boxer fan, so both tick the box on that. The downsides, there will be a bit more fettling needed with the R100, but I actually think you may enjoy that. Sometimes, for example, you may not want to always go out for a ride. If you're just looking for a new kind of riding, that could open up a different door to it. The maintenance can be quite therapeutic. I've learnt with these bikes, as I look at mine that hasn't actually touched the ground for about 3 weeks, so I may not be the best person to speak on this, but I've enjoyed it. And the point is, Gary, this is a real emotive experience. The R9T will be an excellent choice, but I almost think if you're going for a big change in bike, why not go all the way and go to that classic? Just go all the way. And maybe it's just me, but when I look at the pictures of this Scottish BMW R from the no-nonsense owner, I think that is a proper, honest bike. I think that is a magic looking thing. I think that's the one you should go for. I actually think this is the exact model you should go for, Gary. Let me know what you think. Everyone, let me know your thoughts, what you think Gary should do. Moving on to Ryan. All the way, I love this, all the way down in Cape Town, South Africa. Freddie, I'm an ex-mountain biker who spent the last year researching motorbikes with the intention of doing some local coastal rides with the odd weekend trip out of town. Ryan, I can imagine South African road trips would just be incredible. I've been a fan of motorbikes since I was a kid, but my dad would never let me get one. I'm now 38 years old and have enough money to finally purchase my own bike. After many months of searching, I've narrowed it down to a few bikes with the Royal Enfield BR650, Himalayan 450, Triumph Scrambler 400X, or the BMW F450GS. The problem is that all of these bikes are new, and Royal Enfield only opened up a shop for the first time in South Africa last year. What would you recommend I do in this situation, assuming you had money for either of the above listed bikes? Keep in mind I'm 6'1", so when I sit on some of the other bikes, my hips do feel a little bit cramped. I just want something comfortable, looks cool, and can get me to where I want to be. Ryan in Cape Town. Okay, Ryan, if you're looking at what will probably be the best bike off-roading, I would say it's going to be the BMW F450. The reason I say that, it's the lightest of the lot with the most horsepower. So if you want out-and-out off-roading, that will be it. If you want an off-roader that will be a good mile muncher, you will be looking at the Himalayan 450 out of all of them. If you want the out-and-out looks, you're looking at the Scrambler 400X or the Royal Enfield Bear 650. Ryan, if I were you, going on everything you've said, I think being a 6'1" guy, wanting it to be comfortable but look cool as well, I think you'd be best looking at the Royal Enfield Bear 650. But specifically, Ryan, I just think that, what would we call it? Almost lime green frame with the white tank. That in South Africa, ripping around, I think that would be one of the coolest looking sights, full stop. Because the Bear 650, I'm sure it came as an inspiration from the big bear run over in the USA. I can't remember exactly, and I can just imagine it ripping around a similar style landscape with that retro style color combination, and it would look phenomenal. However, every single one of those bikes in your list, you got a connoisseur's choice there, Ryan. For someone who's only just got into biking, for you to put that list together, you got seriously good taste of that, so you won't go wrong with any. For me, the bigger engine size, the good physical size bike, meaning you can spread yourself out more. It just means that you can mile munch a little bit more easily. And from an aesthetics point of view, I think I'd go with the Bear. Let me know what you choose. On now, Mr. B. Freddie, Dream Garage, £15,000. Oh, this is Bike of the Week. Here we go. Freddie, Dream Garage, £15,000. What a fun game. But be careful what you wish for, because apart from the fact that you would have 5 MOTs, that's 5 annual checks, you would also have 5 lots of tax, 5 lots of insurance, and you also have 5 times the maintenance. Do you really want 5 times the fun of your beautiful old Yamaha? How could you say such a thing? It's always good to have at least one newish reliable bike in the shed. It's rubbish having a shed full of bikes and not being able to go out riding because they're all buggered. Guess how I know? Yeah, I know, Mr. B, I'm not going to argue with you. You're bang on right. You are. It's very, very fair points you make. It's actually a really interesting point you make, because I want to, now, to wrap this up, see if you can figure out where I'm going with this. Can we find a bike that genuinely can tick every single box? For every reason Mr. B has said here, one bike to do it all, because you're going to save so much money in maintenance, taxes, insurance, and things like that. So what do we need? Or what do I need? Something reliable enough to be using on a daily basis, something fun, something cool, something that looks really good, something that can be good for the city, something that can be good for touring, something that has at least some element of off-road ability. That immediately sounds really difficult. A lot of you will be saying some adventure bikes, and it's true, you could look at the likes of the Honda Transalp or something like that. But I've always, just from a personal level, been drawn to the more retro-inspired, stripped-back, naked bikes. And I'm drawn now to Bike of the Week with one specific model in mind. It's not a bike that I think I've mentioned in a while, but I think it could tick every single box to potentially be a money saver of a bike, because it is the only bike, genuinely, that you could ever need. And it ticks every single box I've just listed there. It's the Triumph Scrambler 1200 XC. Take a look at this. Launched in 2019, 1200cc engine, 89 horsepower, 205 kilogram wet weight. I think that's quite impressive, actually. For a 1200cc bike that's physically big, 205 kilo wet, that's not bad at all. So have a look at this first year model that I've just found. This is the cheapest model online from 2019, first year of production. Private seller, Facebook Marketplace. This is really interesting. £7,499. These bikes hold their value insanely well. So trust me, £7,500 is a really good deal for these. Plenty of these, even 7 years old, are around £9,000. That's how desirable, that's how highly regarded these bikes are. If you look at this, now this is of course personal preference. Take a look at this 2019 model. It looks really nice, but to my eye, what I would do if I bought this, for me it just looks a little bit too busy. So I would take off the crash bars at the bottom. I actually would take off the hand guard protectors on the side. And I'd also take off the two front fog lamps as well, just to clean up all of the looks on the bike and really strip it back. Because these, for me, these look best stripped back. One other glaringly obvious thing, I think, I would swap out the original Triumph exhaust. I just think it looks too big and bulbous and bulky. And I'd try and find someone to make me an aftermarket one, a very simple stainless steel, as small as possible exhaust. Not loud, but just something that's going to save a lot of weight and look better in proportion for the bike. I think that would transform the side view of it. Once you've done those things, you've got the most phenomenal looking bike, but also a comprehensive bike that genuinely can do it all. It's in essence a naked adventure bike, this. That's how you can think about it. £7,500. I'll wrap it up there. Let me know one do-it-all bike with exactly that in mind, something to save you money, where you're not having to have a garage full of different bikes that really can do it all. And of course, there's no plastic stuff to break if you drop it, which you will if you do some off-roading. It's rugged, it's raw, it's well built, it can mile munch. I think it's going to be really hard to beat one of those XCs. I'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next one.